Same-sex marriage is legal in 19 states now, as well as D.C., and despite that fact, many wedding vendors refusing to provide their wedding services to same-sex couples. Jack Phillips, he owns a pastry shop in Colorado, and he's recently stopped providing wedding cakes altogether. That after the government intervened when he refused to make a wedding cake for a same-sex couple. Phillips, a devoted Christian who says providing wedding services for same-sex couples goes against his beliefs.
When I decorate a cake, I feel like I'm participating in the event. I sit down, I talk with the bride, I get to know who they are. I believe that the Bible teaches that homosexuality is wrong, and to participate in a sin is wrong for me.
Now, Times reports that defenders of the shop owners argue that creating an artistically involved or personalized service for a same-sex wedding is a form of expression that should not be compelled by the government. Jason Leventhal joins us now, founding partner at Leventhal & Klein. He's former ADA with the Richmond County DA's office. A lot of stuff coming out of Staten Island, Jason. Okay, help me out with a line on this between public and private, and whether it's, let's say, a supermarket versus a pastry store. Are there distinctions with differences?
Well, I think the distinction goes to allowing people into the store to buy what you provide in the store versus forcing someone to use their artistic creativity to create something for a specific purpose. And I think in this particular case, forcing this gentleman to create something that is against his religion would be wrong. You know,
I'm always confused because a country club can say, well, we're only going to admit members of one faith, or we're only going to have men in this. Then the Boy Scouts, they can't discriminate any longer against gay scoutmasters or whatever the case may be. Where is the line? Is it federal funding? Is it? I'm just confused what you can and can't do. You can't refuse service to a person of color to sit at a counter anymore, but a restaurant has discretion to remove anyone that they see fit. I'm confused what you can and can't do as a private operator. I see nobody's jumping in and clear it up for me.
It came out of interstate commerce, where the federal government said, you doing this is interfering with interstate commerce, therefore we can get involved. Some people would say that's a fiction they created to for the civil rights movement to kind of enforce what was going on there. But there's also a very strong libertarian idea that, listen, these people are allowed, it's their shop, they can do whatever they want. And the marketplace will kind of figure it out, because they'll say this person doesn't make cakes for people, I don't agree with that, therefore we're not going to go to his cake shop anymore. Those are the two schools of thought.
But if he's the only game in town, does that make a difference? Let's say he's the only baker in a mile, area, and there happens to be an area that's very, it's a Bible Belt area. So they're like, hey, I'm with him. You're out of luck if you're a gay couple to get a wedding cake then,
well,
you know?
That's exactly why the Commerce Clause got involved, because you had historically entire stretches of I-95 where African Americans couldn't go to get breakfast when they're driving. They have to get off the road and drive another 30 miles. And essentially it's an equal protections argument. It's also, although there is a contractual argument. So if you're going to someone individually and saying, I want you to make something that fundamentally offends your religious views, then you have a difficult point there. But if you're a store that's open and you're selling cakes to everyone else, then you have a little less of an argument, and also you have to be able to pass the test. You have to be able to show that there's no malicious intent in the way that you're implementing your rules.
I get that, but did Hobby Lobby confuse this at all?
Well, Hobby Lobby was in a situation where they were being compelled to provide particular services. So they were arguing whether they were going to be compelled to birth control, abortions, things like that, and that went directly against the religious beliefs. So that was the distinction there.
Jason, you think we're in a gray area? You think this is more black and white than maybe it is for us non-attorneys?
You know, it is a gray area, but I think along the lines of what Mayo had to say, when it comes to discriminating based on race, there's no religious belief that can stand on the ground that their religion discriminates on the basis of race. As long as there is an anti-homosexuality component legitimately to a religious belief, I think we have to allow it.
Interesting. Guys, thank you all very much. When we come back, I'm going to bring in Steve Adubato. He has a one-on-one interview that we're going to bring you later on tonight with New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. We'll have a preview when we return.